All right, so we're on week 12. There was a couple questions regarding week 11. If anyone wants to, the writing assignment due tomorrow is on persuasive writing. So if anyone needs to refer back to those lecture slides, that is under week 9 lecture size or lecture slides, delivering persuasive messages. Any other questions regarding last week? There's a lot kind of due tomorrow here. Discussion 7, written assignment number 2, which you guys did really good on written assignment number 1. So really good job. Just to, have those lecture slides up while you're doing your test, and that should help a lot. The analytical report, project step 2, the works cited, is also due tomorrow. Remember, it's just the works cited page. So all your resources. So it's, that's another just like little minor piece, and then the major piece is what's due at the end of the semester. Check-in 9, which a lot of you guys have already done, is due tomorrow. And also the extra credit, the people who did the Canva extra credit, make sure you upload that to get that extra credit, November 13th. Looking forward to next week. We'll have quiz 9 on resumes and cover letters, which is what we're going to be going over today. And also next week is the third written assignment, number 3, which is actually on resumes and cover letters as well. Just because that's really important and it's a major part of this business communication. So pay attention to these slides, and I'll have them up for you guys. I'll have the recording up by the end of the day today. All right, so we're going to get into resumes first. Okay, do you have a question? The sign-in sheet, Alex, I put the link in the chat. Do you have access to that? And I'll put it in the chat a little later too. Okay, so resumes, for those of you guys who don't know or want to know the exact definition, a resume is a document that summarizes your skills, experience, education, and background, and it's what the employers look at for qualified employees when they have the hiring process. Everybody needs a resume. Everyone, okay? There's also a really good career center on campus at Miracosta that I highly encourage you guys to take advantage of, because they know resumes 100 times better than me, because that's their business, right? A resume is very important because it's kind of like an advertisement of you. It gives you, kind of like a one-pager of why to hire you, what makes you different from people, and what your background is and your experience. Also, these days, LinkedIn is kind of looked at as a resume. So, doing your LinkedIn, you can pretty much just copy and paste your resume into your LinkedIn and have everything in that. If there's certain things you feel are important to you, but they don't necessarily fit into your resume, make sure they're on your LinkedIn. And also, you can add other information to your cover letter as well. We'll go over that a little bit later today. So how have resumes changed with technology? It's a lot different these days. Resumes are created, just on the computer, really. They're emailed to people. They're uploaded to different job sites. A lot of employers these days have their own kind of proprietary software where you upload your resume, and then it kind of like parses it, is what it's called, and it takes out everything and just keeps the details. Applications are different these days. You don't really go into a company and fill out an application. It's all done online, which kind of makes it hard in a way, because there's more people putting their resumes into a database. So it's a lot about who you know at the company as well. So always make sure you're still networking, finding out where people work, so that your resume can get to the top of the stack. So what makes a good resume? A good resume should tell your story. You want to be different than everyone else. You want to stand out. You want to show that you've grown as not just a person, but you've grown in your career. So when you have different experiences, you want to make sure you're not making necessary lateral moves, but you're moving up into your career. How long does an employer typically look at a resume? We're actually going to have a fun class activity on that later, but it's really less than a minute. So it's really key to have those keywords in there and to stand out, and to not have any typos and to make it look professional. These days, it's really easy to make your resume look professional. You don't have to be fancy. Simpler is better, especially nowadays since you're uploading your resume to different softwares anyway. You're not going to see the fanciness unless you're like a graphic designer or you're a visual marketing person. You really just be really simple. So you definitely want it to stand out. And Word, just simple Word, has probably 100 resume templates you can use. I mean, the one I have is from Word. It's really easy. So the different parts of the resume, and pay attention to this order because you want to stay in this order here. Your contact information is always first. Professional summary, or some people call it an objective. Your employment history goes next, and then your educational background, and then at the bottom, skills and non-work experience. For example, some of you who may not have any work experience, that's where you want to put any volunteer work, internships. Maybe you're a tutor right now helping kids on Zoom. You know, all that counts. Be creative. If you guys are involved in different groups, you know, for other colleges, as an example, fraternities, sororities, but different groups on campus, and you're like a leader and you do stuff, add that in there as experience if you don't have necessarily work experience. References go at the bottom, but these days their career centers and hiring managers are saying don't put references on. Only provide references later in the later steps of the interview process, or unless the actual job posting asks specifically for references. Otherwise, you don't put them on your resume anymore. Contact information. Name should be written in large, bold font. Use a permanent address that can reliably receive mail. This one is also questionable these days. More hiring managers are saying do not put your entire home address for security reasons. So you just want to put your city, state, and maybe that's it. So you would just put Oceanside, California, and that's it. You don't put your whole address. So that's kind of a newer thing that can go either way. It just depends on you, what you feel comfortable with. Also, very important, I noticed when I was a hiring manager, have a professional email address, okay? Don't use something like skategirlsrock@yahoo.com. How many of you guys have an email address like that? Hopefully you've changed it, right? That was my old email address. So keep it very simple, isabellajanovic@gmail.com. You can get free emails on Gmail, okay? Or you can use your student account. I recommend everyone just create a simple Gmail account. That's really easy. So here's kind of an example of a summary objective that can be a little shorter than this. You don't really want it any much longer than this paragraph because remember, the hiring manager is only going to look at your resume for less than a minute, right? So use keywords: experienced, resourceful, effective retail manager with proven proficiency in all aspects of boutique management. Now, if you are not necessarily on the level of writing like this is where the Career Center comes in to assist you with this. Cutting-edge merchandiser with expert ability in combining innovative display techniques with visual standards and sales strategies in order to achieve optimal retail success. Top-selling sales associate who regularly exceeds client expectations by building ongoing quality relationships. You notice here there's no I am, right? So your professional summary should be a small paragraph, 3 to 4 sentences, nothing longer than that, written in the third person without I or your name. Use adjectives, verbs, and other focus keywords that match qualifications for the sought position. So, you know, experience, resourceful, visual standards, sales strategies, right? Keywords there. Describe the scope of the roles, responsibilities, achievements, career highlights. So it's kind of a lot to fit in 3 to 4 sentences. So the objective, which, you know, I suggest either one. Don't have summary and objective, just one or the other. To contribute acquired bookkeeping and office management skills to an organization offering opportunities for advancement. So see the difference here? So this objective might be more for an entry-level position, whereas this one, since it's a little longer summary, might be more of a management position. Both of them are correct. So here's another example of, you know, just kind of the top of the resume, my resume. I haven't looked at this in a long time, but I have a summary instead of an objective. Name is in bold, contact information to the right here. You know, I don't have an address or anything. So visually, it's very simple, easy to read text, 2 colors. Work history goes next. You want to have this in chronological order, but your most recent job is at the top list. Include measurable accomplishments, so meaning statistics. If you grew something a certain percentage, or say you do social media and you grew the page from 500 followers to 5,000 followers, those key numbers, statistics, metrics, growth, you want to show that as much as you can. And while you're working now on entry level jobs, perhaps, pay attention and take notes of what you've done at this job, right? Maybe you've trained a staff of 20 people, something like that. An example would be built from scratch and managed 92 web to print storefronts. So it's kind of like a number showing growth. Functional format, so it showcases skills and accomplishments first and lists your employees second. So this is how you write it in the format. Omits exact dates work, so it divides employers into present and past. This format works well for people who have gaps in the work history, older applicants who don't want to reveal their age, people who have held lots of jobs in a short amount of time, and younger workers who do not have extensive experience. So this is just a type of format how you write it in. So here, this is not a functional format. This is kind of the standard format here. You have your job position, your title, what it is, the company, location, and the years worked. So if it's present, you would take out that last date and you would put present. So, and then you have your key bullet points, not too many, not too much, because remember, they're only looking at this for a minute or less. And you have your next job and your next job. If you have multiple jobs, maybe you've worked at multiple companies and you need kind of guidance of which ones to take out, feel free to email me or get with the Career Center. I know after grad school, I completely redid my resume because I was looking for senior level positions, and I went to the Career Center where I went to grad school, and they totally helped me out and took out certain jobs. Like, this one's not going to help you out. It's okay if you have a gap here, because you went to school during that time, those sort of things. Don't feel bad that you don't have that much work experience right now if you're in that position. Educational background goes next. So you want your school name, location, degree, earned major, graduation date, or you can say expected graduation date. If you're expected to graduate, fall 2022, you can put that in there. If you did anything with honors, had special accomplishments, if you're on the dean's list, make sure you put that in. If you had a really good GPA, you want to put that in. So I have my education here, and you want the most recent education at the top. So I have Master's of Business Administration, California State University, San Marcos, graduation December 2017, and then the bachelor's under that. I used to have MiraCosta College because I did go to MiraCosta before I transferred to UCSD, but after I got my master's degree, the Career Center told me to drop that one off to take out the AA, so it's actually taken off now. Also, I don't want my resume to be too long, right? But if put MiraCosta on there, and if you're on the dean's list or you have a great GPA, put that in there. It's okay to toot your own horn on a resume, okay? And then if you have any internships that are applicable, put in those internships. So I have 2 in here. And then you want to put any other skills, non-work experiences, and again, that references part, you don't have to do that anymore, but it's good to have your references in a document ready to go when it's asked for, because some companies will ask for that later. So other skills could be the languages, computer and other technical skills. So sometimes if it's an admin or an office job, you might want to put your typing speed. Has anyone done their typing speed recently? You can just go online and Google typing speed and you can do a little test. I think I'm at 70 words per minute when my nails are trimmed. Just depends. It's kind of fun to see typing speed. 78. Whew. Okay, we have some questions in here. Okay, that's a private question. I'll answer that later. Gaps in your resume because of health reasons. So you don't have to explain that in your resume. That is something you can explain in your cover letter or in person when you actually meet with the people, because they will ask. I mean, there's so many things that people have gaps in the resume, like maternity leave, paternity leave, health of yourself or maybe health of another person. Maybe you had to take a gap in your career to help a sick family member. You know, there's so many things now you don't have to put on your resume. Cover letter or in person. All right, we got 78 words per minute is the highest I've seen. Anyone higher than 78 words per minute? Nope. All right. So with me on my resume, I think I have like Adobe Creative Suite. That's another good one. Microsoft Office is a good one if you know all of that. Maybe it's certain type of, if you're applying for computer MS type of jobs, maybe you want to put in there different types of coding you can write. HTML, JavaScript, all the different types of codes. Salesforce, you know, if you're going to be a sales assistant. So and then non-work experience, so any type of volunteer service. Now you want to also put a couple bullet points what you do at that volunteer experience. You don't want to just say like, oh, I volunteered at It's the Pits Dog Rescue. Well, what did you do? Maybe you managed events, you coordinated events, you got vendors together, you managed fundraiser accounts, you know, like you helped with donations, so little bullets of what you did in volunteer experience. I also have in here any type of senior experience projects or research projects, big research projects that you did in school. That totally counts on your resume if you don't have that job experience yet. All right, I'm just going to have you guys do this little class activity solo, so just on your own right now. Take a few minutes. Pick one job or internship or volunteer experience that you will likely put on your resume, or maybe it's already on your resume for those of you that already have one, and kind of answer the following questions here. Where and for how long have you worked there? What were your job titles? You know, maybe you had more than one job title if you got promoted. What were your job duties? So just write a list of all the random duties you had to do. Write a list of all the different skills you had to do. And then, this is the tricky part, because you can't have everything on your resume, trim it down to the top 3 or 4 items that you would include on your resume. So I'll go ahead and give you guys a few minutes on that, and then I'll have a couple of you share with us. All right, we're gonna move on here. Before I start picking on people, just throwing it out there for those of you who may not know, Zoe, one of your classmates here, actually owns a resume editing company. So if you need any assistance, she would be glad to help you guys out. So you can either talk to Zoe, your classmate, or you can go to the Career Center at Miracosta. So feel free to send Zoe a private message in the DM. Okay, so let's see. Marco, what job did you come up with? Why don't you share with us your job and your 3 to 4 items, skills? Is Marco not here? What about Carlos?
Hi. I can go.
I don't know who's talking.
Oh, it's Nicole.
Did you call my name?
I called first. I called Marco.
Oh, sorry.
And then Carlos was second. Carlos, you want to share?
Hi, yes, I've been working at Oceans 11. I'm self-motivated and organized professional with over 10 years experience, providing throughout and skillful support to department managers. And as of right now, I'm taking up Miracosta College as taking up business communication. And maybe later in my career, I want to get a bachelor's or arts in communication studies in psychology.
Nice. So you showed growth and that you have 10 years of experience at Oceans 11, right?
Yeah. 10 years experience.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for sharing. Janice is volunteering to share.
Yeah. One of my, before this whole COVID thing happened, I was a personal assistant for one of my best friends for a long time. For like 3 years, I was her personal assistant. I would go, my job tasks were going to like a weekly shopping trip to Trader Joe's or Albertsons or whatever she needs. And also taking packages to be dropped off at Postal Annex and any additional errands that need to be done, and as well as she had like 6 cats that occasionally she needs, like there were set times where she needs to focus, so I would be there just entertaining the cats, so they won't be like sitting at the door meowing, for hours on end. But one of the skills that I am proud to say I took away from the job is learn how not to get distracted. There are so many distractions, like the cell phone, the internet, and it's hard not for me to not get distracted on like with something.
So staying focused, being able to multitask, and prioritize multiple job duties.
Exactly.
Yep. So just wording it like that, would be great for any job, really. All those skills. Maybe it's time management skills, because you have to do so many things in an 8-hour period. Yep. All right. Thanks for sharing.
Oh, you're welcome.
Let's see. Dylan, are you here?
Yeah, sorry, I just came in a little bit late. I haven't gotten to it yet. Exactly. I haven't finished filling out all the stuff.
Okay. I'll move on to Christian. Christian, are you here? Okay, we have Nicole wants to share. Nicole?
Perfect. Yeah, I'll share mine. I put down my job with Amcor, where I was a portfolio manager from 2018 to June 2020. I don't know about the start date. I can't remember what month it was. So with that, I put property management professional with over 9 years of comprehensive experience in all phases of residential management, to include accounting, marketing, sales, team building, customer service, lease-ups, sales, and purchases of properties, renovations, and construction meetings.
That's a lot of skills. Yeah, a lot of experience. That's good. All right. Thanks for sharing.
Not a problem.
What?
I said not a problem.
Oh, I'm like covering my screen here. What about Will? Are you here, Will? We're gonna move on here now. So some resume writing strategies for you guys. Content on how to write a resume. You want to be concise. Keywords research. If you have a trouble finding keywords, look for the different jobs that you're trying to find. So for example, you're looking for like a marketing coordinator job. Look for those job postings and kind of like see which keywords they're using, and then you can implement those into your resume. That's the best way to do it. Detail oriented. You make sure everything's organized. Accuracy and know your audience. So sometimes you might have a resume for different jobs. You're like, hey, you know, I don't know exactly what I want to do. Maybe I want to be a sales assistant. So you have a resume for sales assistant jobs. And maybe you're interested in marketing as well. So you might have a separate resume for marketing jobs. So knowing your audience and maybe having more than one resume. Also typos, very important. Do not have any typos. Have someone else look at your resume. Your design, or to like make it look pretty, you want to keep it simple. You can use bullet points. Make sure there's plenty of white space so you can see everything. Alignment, you want everything aligned. You don't want things all crooked all over the place. Your font size and style, keep to standard fonts, standard font size. I usually keep the whole size except, you know, your name at the beginning. Let's see, go back to that slide. So it's all standard size and fonts except, you know, your name's maybe big. The colors, I only use 2 colors. Now, if you're applying for a graphic design job, you might have a little bit more visuals in your resume. And you could have 2 resumes if you're kind of a graphic designer. You can have a simple resume like this for that you upload to a system that's going to parse out all that information anyway. And you can have a resume that you actually print out when you come to the interview. You can show your very pretty graphic design skill resume. So it's totally okay to have more than one. Where did I leave off? Whoops. Okay. Spelling again and headers. So if you saw, I had summary as a header, experience as a header, education as a header. So things you don't want to do. You don't want to lie. Never. You know. Be as honest as you can. If you don't remember a start date, you know, just be as close as you can. But don't have like, say you worked at a company for 4 years when you really only worked there for 2 years, right? Again, multiple fonts, you don't want that. Pictures, unless you're a graphic designer, you want to keep photos out. Overly personal information. This is just really the basics of what you did so that they can see your education and your experience. Your salary, you keep salary out of everything. That's something you negotiate in your interview. Some companies ask for salary requirements. Not many do. I don't know about that one. I would kind of almost stay away from those companies who ask for your salary requirements. That's really something you discuss in an interview because you need to be able to negotiate that. So be careful of those jobs. Misspellings and other typos. So, gosh, I've had typos in like every single slide here. So no typos, guys. All right, so now I'm going to have you guys do a fun little group activity here. I call this 6 resumes in 6 seconds. There is a link here. Now don't open this file until I say go. Okay, welcome back, guys. Looks like all the groups were able to finish. Let's start with group 1. Nate, who'd you guys choose and why?
We actually chose, it was the first resume. I forget the name of the applicant.
Jackson? Is it Jackson?
Yeah.
Okay.
We liked that one because A lot of the other ones were a little bit too kind of wordy and a little bit too lengthy. But we also discussed how if we were employers, we would probably take the time to spend more time reading a resume rather than just, 6 or 30 seconds. But we liked that one because it was just well structured and it wasn't super, like it didn't just seem like a whole paragraph of words,
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I pointed out that I really liked was the education achievements. He pointed out that he graduated with a 4.0, and he was one of the 2 that had a doctor's degree. So that was really
That stood out to you guys.
inviting to me, yeah. Because I saw that, and then I went down to the other applicants, and I was like, do they have a doctor's degree? So that was one thing that stood out to me. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So when you guys discussed you need more time, you would like more time to look over these resumes. How much time are you guys thinking per resume?
We didn't really decide on a specific time, but definitely
Okay.
more than like 30 seconds. I would think myself maybe at least like 2 minutes to, review a resume.
2 minutes?
I would say a minute or two.
A minute or two? What if you have a stack of 50 or 100 to go through?
Yeah, and that gets difficult.
30 seconds.
See how the time goes down?
Or
and you
or
have
just
2
2
days
hours.
to do it on top of all your other job duties. Things to think about. All right, good job, guys. Breakout room number 2. Heidi, you want to share with us who you guys chose and why?
Sorry. So we actually were kind of indecisive. We're very set on Perry. Just
Okay.
because his resume looked very clean, and he had a lot of he had important certifications, but it didn't go on too lengthy to the point where we just looked at them and we're like, wow, a lot great, but like it was like important ones. And then we had also like seen Jackson's, and we thought his was really good as well because he had the doctor degree. So we were a little conflicted, but yeah, we definitely thought that we needed more than 6 seconds. It was very hard to look over everything.
Yeah, and you almost feel a little maybe judgmental.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yes. So I'm noticing with the first 2 groups, you guys really looked at that PhD, right? Doctorate. So some things to think about after you guys get your AA, because all of you guys are getting your AA, is that BA worth it? Is that MBA worth it, right? As you guys continue on with your career. So some things to think about. I really hope you guys keep going and get a BA and an MBA.
Yeah,
all
it's
right.
definitely worth it.
Yeah, it is. And I've actually, after I got my MBA, when clients choose a social media person, I had in the first like a month, I had 2 clients tell me, hey, just so you know, I chose you over the other candidates because you have an MBA. And I was like, whoa, that was worth it right there. I mean, I'm still paying the bill, but student loans, we'll talk about that some other time. All right, breakout room number 3. Who hasn't spoke? Bastion, who'd you guys choose and why? Bastion.
Was that our breakout room?
Yes,
'Cause it was
breakout
2
room 3.
Because it was only 2. It was just me and what's her name?
Janice?
Yes.
Oh, the other 2 didn't participate?
No.
All right, Carlos, who'd you guys choose and why?
We chose Jessica, because it looks more professional and it got straight to the point and it looked more detailed and it just pretty much easy to read.
Easy to read. Okay, so things to think about when you guys are creating your resume. Make sure it's easy to read, get straight to the point, professional. Good.
Sorry, I was in the other room. But I chose Jessica too because the qualifications was I don't know. It was just like out of all the candidates, hers was the easiest qualifications. Like it was right there, straight to the point.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
So-
qualifications, some other things to think about, guys. Maybe getting some of those free certificates. You can get certificate online, during your Christmas break, right? Or winter break. I'm not supposed to use the word Christmas. Winter break, spring break, summer break, right? We get in that Microsoft Office, maybe Adobe, maybe learning some HTML, JavaScript, right? Breakout room number 4. Let's have Nicole. Where'd your group come up with?
We went with Amy, who was she was the 5th one, right? We went with her. We thought that, hold on, I'm reading off of the notes, kind of. Well, we thought that her formatting was good. She was easy. It was easy to read, experience, looked at separate categories that popped out to us. She had quite a bit of experience from what she listed, that she's done quite a bit. So we decided to go with her.
Okay, great. Yeah. All right. I like it how you guys kind of picked other people, different people. Just imagine if you were in an intergroup committee and one of you from each group was in a committee trying to hire someone. Wouldn't that be fun? You guys all pick
Not
someone
really.
different.
Not really.
No.
Oh, I love it. All right, moving on here. Okay, so now we're going to go over a little bit of cover letters here, and I don't think we'll have time to do the next class activity, but that's okay. So cover letters. A potential employer's first impression of you and can be the most vital part of the application packet. Some employers say they won't even look at your resume without a cover letter, right? Depending on the job posting. So a well-written letter entices the employer to read your resume. A poorly constructed cover letter may doom your resume to the no need to read pile. Okay. Now with these cover letters, you don't want them to be too long, but you want to maybe add in a little bit more detail that isn't on your resume. For example, those gaps. You might want to include that in there, like between the years of 2005 and 2007. I wasn't employed during that time as I was pursuing a Bachelor of Arts degree at UC San Diego. That's where you kind of put that. It's important to highlight your skills, knowledge, and experience. These will indicate what you can contribute to the company, right? How can you be an asset for the company? Why would they want to hire you? Effective cover letters must convey a sense of purpose and project enthusiasm. Just like resumes, you can have more than one cover letter. You can have one for, hey, these are the sales jobs I'm trying to get hired for. Here are the marketing jobs I'm applying for. So the parts of a cover letter, you have your heading, your inside address, which again, you can just leave it as San Marcos, California, Oceanside, California. What was that?
Sorry, you're not sharing your screen. So I don't.
Thank you. That's kind of a problem.
I think we're good.
Questions? All right, well, I'll hang on to the call if anyone has any specific questions just for them. Otherwise, have a great weekend. Stay out of trouble. Stay warm. Temperature's going down.
Oh, somebody's asking for the attendance sheet.
Oh, I'll put the attendance sheet again. Thank you. Yep, I'll do that right now. Let me stop sharing my